So now one of it, as you said, is after you did that solo, where you expose your inner self in the forms of drawings, apa semua. As you said, you become very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So
My
that was
dialogue with the identification.
identification.
Yeah.
Then the series, the solo yang you buat dekat Penang,
Yeah.
where hijab sebagai seorang artis, you
Yeah.
are looking behind the veil or outside the veil of yourself, of your persona
Of that identification.
as an artist.
Because if I can articulate a little bit lah, maybe not everybody can visualize and some may not, because it wasn't shown in KL. It was not really a well-known work. Maybe some people have seen the works kan. 9 pieces, abstract background, very abstract expressionist background, and I painted myself. I mean, like, obviously, literally, the artist showing himself in the painting. I mean, that's the
Narcissist.
narcissist. I mean, the biggest
highest
narcissistic
order.
act. The most narcissistic act lah. Okay, so you can visualize it. I mean, and then I painted myself 9 times. Like, there are 9 of me. I think 9 or 8, something like that. There are many of me there. So that's one. That's on one level. But then, okay, very narcissistic. I'm not trying to be subtle at all, because at the end of the day, sometimes people don't speak about the work. Oh, this is Zul. Kan? This is Rafi'i or whoever. Don't even talk about the work. So you just straight away, this is the artist. So I was trying to go into that kind of dialogue with myself. Okay, so this is Hasnul. Not even talking about my work, my concept, whatever, blah blah blah, kan? So that's one level. Then I was thinking, so what I would be doing in that painting? So what's the opposite of narcissism? Prayer.
Okay.
So I paint myself
In a state of prayer.
in the different praying poses. It's very contradictory. So prayer is about you dissolving your ego, you dissolving any kind of attachment to this identification. You totally dissolve. It's totally opposite of this typical narcissism that artists are being, accused of. So I play with that contradiction, and then I put another layer, third layer, my presence as video projection.
Okay.
No physical and like it's not a painting. It's in a form of light, because I also study video. When I study video, it's totally opposite material-wise compared to painting. So painting there is a tangible physical presence that you can touch. But video, you can't touch it. It doesn't have it. It appears in the form of light, which you can call as a wave. So who am I? Am I a wave? Am I an idea? Am I a pigment? That thick pigment, is that me? Oh, that's Hasnul. Or people can say that's an image of Hasnul, or that's Hasnul's painting. But normally, that's Hasnul. So I wanted to go into that. That was my platform. And I got so tired. And I was so tired about the whole art scene then. I was very angry. I don't know. I don't want to recall back. I was frustrated, blah, blah, blah. So many things. So I was intuitively feeling that something was wrong with me. Something was wrong with me. How can I don't feel high, elevated like I used to be? Like I used to be when I was 12 years old, on my own without anybody asking me to paint. Very high. I felt so elevated when I was painting. How can I don't have that?
Where did that energy go?
No, where is it? I'm supposed to be like,
you should be on different level already, kan?
You are already kononnya different level.
Elevated.
Elevated, but you're not there. So something is wrong. What's going on? So kenapa tak happy ni kan? So intuitively I felt that I I had to stop for a while and take a deep breath.
I remember at that time, we spent a lot of time.
Yeah.
If there's one word for me, if one word that I can describe you, I would say you were very intense.
I was.
Ketika tu you were very intense.
I was hyper, I was energetic. Many people probably read that as being abrasive. I was abrasive, so many things. I don't want to recall that back lah kan. So I felt like I needed to stop and something wrong with.
So you
something
stopped?
was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And then this came. I think this is very critical because this is the prelude to this so-called journey of healing. I felt that I need to return. That word. I didn't know what it meant intrinsically. It was just intuitively. Aku kena balik ni. Macam cakap Melayu dia kan. Aku kena balik ni. Tapi benda balik tu. What is that? I didn't know that. I didn't know. And then my father came to my mind. My father. When I went home around that period lah, 2010 to 2012. Suddenly when I went home, family members ramai. Normally selalunya yang balik paling akhir tu saya lah. Saya akan perlu pulang ke Pulau Pinang. Saya lihat ayahanda saya sudah 80 umur dia, bongkok dan tua, lambai. Bonda saya. Belakangnya rumah yang besar, tinggal 2 orang. Seperti tiba-tiba baru semalam saya membonceng di belakang dia, menaiki kapcai. Baru semalam dia ni hero saya. Baru semalam dia ni saya punya idola. Dan sekarang cut tu. Dia bukan slow dissolve apa ke, dia cut tu. And it was very odd. I felt like ini kot balik. So balik tu bawa saya kembali kepada, of course, ayahanda dan bonda, tapi lebih waktu tu kepada ayahanda saya. I didn't know why then. More into my father. So I felt that I had to do something about it. So the simplest I could do then was to write a blog. So I wrote a blog. I was writing a blog then. So I wrote a blog about my father. I call it Hero Saya. So you remember my father came to my show. My mother opened the show kan. So it was already there like a prelude, So I wrote a blog, and then my friend read the blog, and then he came to my place in Penang, dekat port tu lah yang belakang tu. Berupa aku panggil. And then he read my comic. He laughed like hell. Anderson E nama dia. Dia gelak, dia kata, Hasnul, inilah engkau. Ini engkau. Engkau yang aku baca paper, artikel kau tu, writing kau tu, memang itu kau nak tunjuk pandai. Itu konon-kononnya Hasnul the thinker, whatever lah kan. Tapi yang kau yang real yang ni lah.
Yang kartun ni.
Yang kartun ni. Bila kau cakap dan kau lukis bapak engkau tu. Yang ni yang real. So, and then I felt, ini kot balik. Ini kot balik. So it was like unveiling. First it started as an intuition that you sort of you didn't want to entertain. So okay, Andy kata, best ni oi. Best lah. So, tak apalah, aku buat filem lah pasal bapak engkau. I'm not a filmmaker. I was not a filmmaker. So I told Andy, bro, aku tak berhenti buat filem kan. Tak apa, aku buat filem. Aku buat untuk kau. Kau cuma follow through je kan. So we came up with that film. That time we went to do shooting. Bapak saya berlakon semua kan. Dan saya managed to show the film to him, to bapak saya. Tak lama lepas tu dia meninggal. Dia meninggal kan. So bila dia meninggal, ini kot pulang. Itu pukulan kan, kita tak prepare kan. So I had that intuitive feeling of aku kena balik. Tapi somehow few years after that, bapa aku yang balik. Hero aku yang balik. So hero aku yang balik. So that was another, I don't know how you say it, catalyst or turning point, I don't know. Mungkin inilah yang dimaksudkan sebagai balik pulang. Ke arah apa? Ke arah diam dan aman.
Ke arah diam dan aman.
Kediaman. Saya panggil kediaman,
Kediaman.
kan. Kalau kita diam, baru aman.
Betul.
Kalau kita tak diam, kita punya mind very
Kecamuk.
noisy. We have to use our mind, but we cannot use it excessively. And also our feelings lah, kan. Macam mana nak dapat aman? Keruh je all the time, kan. So when I look at my father at one point in the hospital before he passed away, he looked at me. I looked into his eyes. I saw nothing. My father was not there. So it was scary. Scary like hell. Ish, mana bapa aku ni? Kan? Okay, ini mungkin pelik sikit lah. I'm not sure whether you can edit ke apa ke, tak tahulah. I felt like whatever that I have constructed in my mind as my father dissolved.
Okay.
And then my attachment to that mental,
Framework,
emotional construct that I label as my father, my attachment to that made me sad.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to let go that.
Okay.
I was saying, aku tak nak bapa aku mati.
Okay. Faham.
Tapi bapa aku tu siapa? Fikiran kita, konstruk yang kita bina, kan. Dan kita bergantung kepada konstruk itu hingga kita rasa sakit. Kita rasa tak boleh nak lepas, kan. The pain of facing the death of somebody that we love. Why we feel the pain? Because we attach to whatever construct, mental construct.
Betul.
But of course now I can explain to you lah, because I'm a lecturer, I can articulate that, kan. But when that happened, it was like,
To me, Hasnul, itu konsep roh.
Itu saya kata takut nak kena edit ke apa ke, kan.
Itu konsep roh, sebab kita tidak pernah diajar apa itu roh.
Ya. Dan Tuhan pun cakap, yang aku bagi tu hanya sedikit je. Yang manusia tahu tu pun sedikit je, kan. So, itu satu on one layer lah. On another layer, then who is the one looking at me then? That time. And I felt that as well. So I cannot explain who is doing the looking. And I was looking, and who is doing the looking back. And what is actually looking at me back. So that was the feeling. Liberating and scary like hell. Because whatever that I had underneath my kaki before, taken away suddenly. I couldn't hold on to anything. I couldn't hold on to my job, my profession, my name, whatever that selama umur kita 50 berapa tahun itu, kita hold on to. Yang itu pun cair. So I call that my father last sermon. Without talking, because we couldn't talk. All the wires and everything. My father's last sermon. He was a religious teacher. He used to give sermon, kuliah, lectures, kan, even kat rumah, kan. So that was his last sermon.